Good morning, friends. I'm excited this morning. It's Saturday morning around 8:45 a.m. and I have been contemplating in my mind some plans to further the ministry that I have begun. Most of you know several years ago I entertained in my mind the possibility of starting a type of Bible training ministry, sort of like a Bible training institute. I put it all together. I organized it. I put a doctrinal statement in it. I talked about what I plan to do and how I plan to do it. And all of it was free training. Now, as a background, several years ago, one of the pastors of our local churches that I was attending, he's with the Lord now. But at that time, he encouraged me to pursue a project I was starting, and that is putting together a series of Bible studies that can be used by other people as a teaching ministry. The plan was to go through all the books of the Bible, present, first of all, a general teaching of what each book was about, and then provide discussion questions afterwards to to engage all the people into this group, into the discussions. Now, at the time I started this, I never realized how soon I would complete it, but I kept working on it and I put together a book called A Simple Guide for Teaching the Bible. But as far as I know, no one has ever used that book. They know nothing about it. They never purchased it. But I wrote it. And may I add, maybe I wrote it for such a time as this. And this is exciting. I have wanted to start this Bible Training Institute, but I gave up the whole idea because I could never find anybody that was interested. And you know the story I'm sharing with you, but for some who are listening for the first time, it'll be news to them. Around May or about April of this year, a gentleman who had read my first study in Revelation in another group contacted me and asked me if I did discipleship ministries. Well, it has developed into a point that I started and 30 people joined the group to begin with, but something happened that caused me to cancel that group because we had meetings that no one was attending. So I thought perhaps this was a problem. So I discontinued that group, and then I started something different. I started another group that I'm conducting right now. I started with 9 members, and as of now, I have 18. Imagine that. I have 18 pastors that I am discipling in ministry. Now, if that isn't exciting enough, I mean, what do you teach men who are more engaged in ministry than yourself? But I have some things that I could share with them that will be of great benefit that I have never been able to use before. No, I'm telling you this because I'm going to share these things with you. So when you receive these messages, you'll be forearmed beforehand of why I'm doing this. Recently, the same gentleman that asked me about conducting the discipleship ministry started another ministry of his own, and this is exciting. You see, I was in the military. I saw the opportunities. I was involved in opportunities. In a sense, I didn't want to leave, but I thought that I needed additional Bible school training for the ministry, so I left the military. But in my mind, the military is one of the greatest opportunities for evangelism and discipleship that I can think about, because these men, once they are properly discipled in the Word of God, are shipped off to many different areas. And I can think of no greater way to spread the gospel throughout the world than through a military ministry. And my friend Elias, just started this new ministry, and he and I are the only members. And I caught the vision. I immediately shared my testimony with any that might be interested, because my testimony involves a lot of my growing and becoming a Christian while I was in the ministry, the military. So this is uniquely interesting and possible. Now, another one of my members reactivated a group of his own. But for now, I think I've had to drop out of that because for some reason, my posts have been pending for close to 2 weeks. So I figured maybe I'll be wasting my time on that. There's a possibility I may rejoin that group, because this man is a very busy man. He's gone away on his ministries, and it's possible that he hasn't had time to do all of this. And I may have been a little bit premature in dropping out, but that can be reactivated. He's a regular part of my ministry here, and I contact him frequently. But I dropped out basically because I was not hearing from him. I'm posting stuff and nothing is being done. And it could be because of this busy ministry being activated as a missionary, basically. But I started this military group, and the thought came to me this morning, this would be a wonderful opportunity to provide men in the military an opportunity for a Bible school training, helping them to grow and understand the Bible and conduct ministries of their own. Now, these studies have a 3 or 4-fold purpose, and they accomplish the goals I have for this discipleship ministry of training others to disciple others as well. So by providing this ministry, they in turn will benefit by the lessons themselves, and they will have in hand a resource that they can share with other members and leaders in their church to get them begin doing the same thing. And I'm giving them actually some tools to work with so they can begin doing this. And what greater opportunity would that be than through the military? So this is exciting. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know what I am starting to do. Now, I am conducting presently 4 different groups on 3 different uh, two of them are Facebook groups. I have two separate Facebook groups and one Google series of groups. So I'm conducting about 12 different Bible studies in 3 different areas. Some of these are the same materials, but I started I called it an online Sunday school, but it has progressed to an actual Bible study in 3 of my groups. And what I'm going to do, I'm completing a study on Isaiah, and I promised I would give them the rest of the lessons I have, which are about 7 or 8, as audios for them to listen to. I've already written the book and give them free copies of my book as ebooks. So, but I thought they would like to listen to them as audios. That makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to do that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to consolidate this Bible training ministry into all of these groups. From now on, instead of doing all these different studies, I'm going to give all these groups as an opportunity to receive this type of Bible training. So I'm beside this military group, I'm going to include them in my discipleship training group and in my Sunday school groups. So I want you to know what I'm doing. I've already started last night, and I gave my first one. It's called How to Study the Bible. And I gave a little study, and I included an audio with it. Now, with these lessons, I'm going to include an audio that actually, in case people are uncomfortable speaking, they could share the audios, which is an audio of the written lesson. So as I do these lessons, I'm going to give you the written form along with the link so you can listen to them. And what will happen if you use this book? What you could do is you could play the audio and then use the questions for discussion with the groups afterwards. Probably the audio won't take more than 5 or 10 minutes to listen to, but it'll give you some idea of what each of the books in the Old Testament are all about. And afterwards, you can use the questions to engage your people into discussions. I was in a church one time where the pastor was doing this, and that's where I got the idea. And one day he allowed me to teach the book of Judges, which I thoroughly enjoyed and saw the possibilities. So that's why I wrote this book on a simple guide for teaching the Bible. It was a request by other pastors who never got to see the finished product. Now, I gave a copy of the book to one of the other pastors of that church, but he never did anything to it that I can recall. In fact, I don't even know if he read it. And that usually is what happens with pastors when I give them my books. They don't bother reading them anyhow. So I'm used to that. They have their own ministries and their own people they like to read to prepare their sermons. So they're probably not interested in my stuff. So I'm putting this message together to let you know what's happening. God has really been giving me some opportunities. Imagine giving some servicemen an opportunity to understand and not only to read the Bible and and learn from it, but also to turn around and form other groups within the military themselves, conduct others' Bibles, and disciple others the same way. I didn't have that opportunity when I was in the military. So there's a great opportunity here, and who knows how God will use us. but I'm taking advantage of all of these opportunities that God has given to me. I'll be 88 years old in November, and I don't know how much life God has left for me to serve. Right now, I'm in good health. My mind is intact. I am all excited about all these different things that God is allowing me to do, things I never dreamed a year ago were possible. And yet they're expanding and growing, and the opportunities are increasing. And who knows what will happen these years that lie ahead of us. If there's this much excitement in only a few months, just think of what a year might produce. It's hard to imagine the possibilities. But when Jesus said, "Follow me," he never tells us what's going to happen next. And probably the things that are happening next in my own experience are far beyond my wildest dreams. Well, I have completed this message, but I want you to know what I'm doing. And pretty soon you're going to receive some of these messages in place of the Bible studies that I have been conducting. And if you're receiving these messages and not part of these groups, I will send these messages to you as well. Well, thank you for paying attention. I'm sure that you're going to be excited to see how God is going to use all of this. And I am excited too. God has enabled me to have a plan and a program to do it. And I don't know of anyone else that has ever tried this kind of thing. But I think maybe for such a time as this, God has allowed me to do the things that have only been a dream up until now. Well, we'll see you later.